Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. In today's video, we take a look at the Season 3 episode where Lola wants to be a winner, worries she'll be a loser, and takes a winning strategy by avoiding potentially losing, but it doesn't make her a winner. Today's episode is titled Gown and Out. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. In this episode, Lola is given the opportunity to compete in the Little Miss Southeastern Michigan regional pageant. But when she sees how rough the competition is based on how much more talented and intelligent the other contestants are, Lola worries she'll lose her first ever pageant and tries to avoid competing by pretending to be sick. She eventually breaks down and admits to Lori why she faked being sick, to which her sister gives her a pep talk on why she shouldn't give up. The episode ends with Lola going on to compete in the pageant and ultimately lose, but feels happy knowing she was still able to do what she loves, and knowing her competition will have to watch out for her next year. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. For the longest time, this was always my favorite Lola episode until Season 4 came along, but it's still one of her best performances, and the lesson she learns is one of the most relatable and realistic when it comes to competition. It's no secret that by this point in the series, Lola is very talented as a pageant queen, and she can win over any crowd and add another victory to her winning streak that she had been making. This episode indicates that Lola had never officially lost a single pageant ever since she first started competing, and how just the idea of losing one is something she never imagined, on top of feeling nauseous when trying to say the word that means the opposite of winning, at least when used in the context of her not winning. I wondered if she had taken after her older sister when it came to losing when we saw how Lynn reacted to losing to the first time in Winner Takes All. Actually, Lynn was both a sore loser and winner in that episode, while in this episode, Lola doesn't act as either, or at least doesn't make a spectacle of it in front of other people. In Lola's defense, I can see why she wanted to back out of the competition. Some of those other girls had more exciting talents compared to Lola's usual ribbon dance, something the MC thinks is just cute as opposed to Jackie's gymnastics. And China's response in the Q&A portion was more intellectually stimulating than anything Lola could ever say. These other girls probably put more time and energy into getting to where they were, and Lola was right to secretly admit those other girls were better than her. Any one of them had a better shot at taking first prize away from Lola, and rightfully so. Lola had never faced that level of competition on a larger playing field before, and for the first time she was the less than first place contestant in a pageant instead of it being the other way around like she was used to. When you're on a winning streak for so long, the idea of losing is not something you think about too often. However, rather than compete in the pageant and accept the mere possibility of losing, she took the cowardly yet somewhat smart path of faking an illness to avoid going on stage. On the one hand, she wouldn't win the pageant, but on the other, she couldn't lose if she never participated, meaning her undefeated streak would remain intact. I guess in a sense, this does technically make her a sore loser because she hated the idea of someone being better than her and would rather hide than accept reality. This was where Lori stepped in and told her how she was once in a similar situation. First off, I applaud Lori for her performance in this episode. Going the extra mile of pampering a supposedly sick Lola just to make her feel better is a sign of a good sibling. Too bad she couldn't get the spa pampering she wanted, since that was the only reason she took the trip in the first place. Anyway, Lori referenced back to the time she and Carol Pingree were competing for the title of Homecoming Queen, something the series had been consistent with since the beginning. She was like Lola, where she thought about staying home because she was worried she was going to lose, which turned out to be the case, but unlike her little sister, Lori went to the dance and still had a good time with Bobby. She goes on to explain how the competition is going to get tougher as the years go by, but that shouldn't stop anyone from doing what they love and how they shouldn't miss out on wonderful experiences. The speech Lori gave in this episode is pretty much the same speech she was given in the future Season 3 episode Driving Ambition. Now, before anyone tries to say Lori should have taken her own advice in that golf episode, let me try to explain a few things. Yes, both episodes had a main character worried their future would be ruined if they couldn't win a specific competition. Yes, they needed to be told that the competition will become more challenging and how losing isn't necessarily the end of the world since there are many other opportunities out there. And yes, suffering a loss to someone better than you doesn't mean you should throw in the towel on what you love. Just watch the episode Roadie to Nowhere and you'll see what I mean. But there are two distinct differences differences between these two respective third season episodes. First off, Lola is a 6-year-old elementary student, and Lori is 17 going on 18, with college being a major priority after graduating high school. Completely disregarding a prestigious university like Fairway, the one place Lori wanted to attend more than any other, opportunities in the adult world become more limited as you get older, and time isn't always on your side after high school. For Lola at the age of 6, she shouldn't be as worried about her future as much as Lori should be worried about hers. Lola has way more time on her side to reach her ultimate goal, while Lori has less time. Plus, qualifying for a regional pageant when someone like China had been competing in national pageants, assuming Lola had never competed in nationals before, doesn't hold the same weight as getting scouted for college as far as long-term payoffs go. I think you know where I'm going with this one. The second difference is, even though Lori had rebuilt her confidence prior to her golf tournament and then started falling apart the day of said tournament, she neither said she was going to walk away, nor did she actually give up halfway through. Regardless of the pep talk and confidence rebuilding she was given, Lori still stuck it out and played to the end. Remember, she assumed Coach Niblick left before the tournament was over, and even though she won, she felt comfortable with the possibility of not going to Fairway, meaning she took her supposedly lost college opportunity with grace. Lola, on the other hand, was giving up before she even took the stage. So at least it's clear who was more secure about losing in the current moment of their respective conflicts. However, I will say Lori's sudden comeback and convenient victory can't compare to how Lola's pageant performance ended, where she lost to someone better than her. What makes the ending even more satisfying is how it was not only the more realistic and teachable ending, Lola even congratulated China on a well-deserved victory, showing some character growth and presenting herself as a gracious loser. She may not have won, but she still had fun doing it, and even Jackie complimented her performance and how she would have to watch out for her next year. And so, just to play off the title pun, Lola's losing pageant performance may have knocked her down, but she's definitely not out. With more determination and training from Lincoln, who seems to take his knowledge and role as a coach a bit too seriously, she can come back with a vengeance and maybe win Little Miss Southeastern Michigan next time. You just never know unless you try. Overall, this episode is one of the all-time greats of Season 3, and it was one of the highest moments of development in Lola's character. She was put in a situation where winning wasn't going to be as easy as it used to be in the past, and she faced the very real possibility of being handed her first ever pageant loss because someone was just better than her. She thought preserving her spotless record by faking being sick was for the best, but with a little help from Lori, she realized how you can't run away from the things you love at the first sign of trouble. You have to go out there, do your best, and if you win, you win, and if you lose, you lose. You can't win all the time, but it's never the end of the world if you lose. Lori played her role very well with her willingness to take care of her little sister and give a motivational speech, the same kind of speech she was given in the future episode Driving Ambition. When comparing how similar and different both that episode and this one played out for each respective character and how each story ended, I do prefer Lola's ending over Lori's, and yet both plots end up on the same level when it comes to learning an important life lesson about success. With that said, I give Gown and Out a 9.6 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Gown and Out. There's still one more thing about this episode that always gets me thinking. Was it just me, or did Lincoln seem to be more focused on winning than Lola? I know Toads and Tiaras featured him as a pageant coach, and I found it oddly humorous how he knew more than his own sister Lori about curling hair in a specific way, and having Lynn question how her brother knew all too much about pageant performing leaves you wondering if Lincoln reads up on that kind of stuff in his spare time. Maybe everyone should take the route Lori did and shut him up on the phone when it becomes too much. Funny and informative in small doses, but still too much. So, as far as this episode goes, what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.